install of one of those key components in the infrastructure of your home, do remember that the Comfort Maker air conditioning and heating is what Joe uses. It's a standard. Comfort with confidence with the Comfort Maker. Okay, 616-516-8579 for Senor Martinez, the creator of Forbidden Spanish. No doubt about it. Another key local business bringing you the live stream, Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. BlueFrostIT.com, in business for small and medium-sized businesses, making sure that you have your tech in good, tip-top running order. And with the pandemic, so many people working from home, and in a lot of cases will continue to work from home. A little laptop that your employees are using might be stressed to the max. Probably wasn't that great to begin with. You might need to refurbish. You might need to get an equipment upgrade. You might need to do some, debugging. I don't even know the damn terms. Making sure that your equipment for your employees is in the best shape possible. 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. Get a quote today when you reach out to Blue Frost IT. Here we go.
And now, here's a guy who has to have a pork chop tied around his neck to get the dogs to play with him.
Dude, keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Well, thank you, John A. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily expletive-filled rant covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures / shenanigans. Boy, yesterday was a hell of a day. My God, did we cover a lot of ground. We sat on about an hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours on the free podcast. So much to talk about. And then we went apeshit on the Patreon with another hour filled with drama. Oh, my God, I could not believe the drama that the Patreon was filled with. First of all, let me just tell you that Dear Meathead happens in about 50 minutes from now. I will get Dad and on the phone, Dad and Joanne. And once again, we will do Dear Meathead, all right? If you have a question for Dad, I want you to reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you have sent a question in the past, resend it. Because I swear to God, I had interactions with more than one person since the last time we did Dear Meathead, and someone said, hey, here's my question again. It's from the past. I'm resending it. Could you resend it again? Because I can't find the damn thing. I don't even know who I communicated with about this. But if you've had a question in the past, as always, resend. Just search it out and resend it to me. Because it's very difficult sometimes to be able to procure them. Because, I'm not the most organized person in the world. I'll be the first one to admit that. It's a miracle that this room that I'm in right now, the Fear Bunker studio, looks even remotely organized. It's only for show. All the shit is on that side of the camera. Which, by the way, thank you to Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid for sponsoring my show on Facebook. That's where a lot of you are watching this right now, live. We'll do it live. YouTube. Just search out Eric Zane Show if that's what you like to watch live on. On Twitter, Periscope, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. The Blue Frost IT Twitter handle at Eric Zane Show. My Twitter number is just dropping like a stone. Before long, it's going to be like a couple hundred people. I don't know. Is it that shitty? Unfollow. I hate you. Oh, my God. What am I doing? Before long, it's just going to dwindle away to nothing. Oh, it's terrible. All right. I can't worry about that. But I do. And send the questions along for Dear Meathead. It'll have Dad along in just a bit. Boy, I can't get it right the last 2 days since returning from the Memorial Day weekend. It's just been, the timing is all screwed up. I'm supposed to start sharp at 8 a.m. I keep getting later and later. My apologies. 8:05, 8:06, 8:07. People are like, where the hell is he? What the hell's going on? I'm sorry. I know. And today I even got up like 15 minutes earlier than what I normally do. I'm well rested. I'm charged. Had a terrific night's sleep. And a decent day of eating yesterday. That diet thing, I tell you, outside of that horrible moment on the Memorial Day weekend when I had that enormous ice cream flurry full with every candy in America, which I inhaled because I eat so damn fast. And then I suffered that, God, it was like some crazy sugar coma. I detailed it yesterday on the podcast. It really was really bizarre. Made me think I was having a medical emergency or something like that. Outside of that, strong on the eating, and I, boy, that was such a wake-up call about what shitty eating will do for you, because I immediately felt so bad when I did eat that thing, and it was like, wow, what a reminder about what I'm eating and how bad it is for me and how it hurts me. God, did that hurt me? Because when I eat appropriately, man, I just feel terrific. I just feel so good. I don't have to eat as much, and I'm eating a lot of vegetables and protein-based food, and it's just working. It's just really, really working, and I'm down like 13 pounds now on the diet bet, which my goal was like 7, because 4% of my body weight at the start of the diet bet worked out to about that. But, we are getting very close to the end of diet bet, and I cannot wait to see the results, to see who achieved the goal, give them a big pat on the back, and then for the rest of you who do not achieve the goal, to collect your money, and we will divide it up and count that cheddar. And Megan, I would love to do a second diet bet, and that might be a little bit more difficult because, after you lose the weight, some weight, it gets a little bit more difficult to lose weight. But I haven't. I mean, that's only a 1-month diet bet, so I'd love to do it again. And so she organized the whole thing. Thank you to her. And to those of you that are in on the damn diet bet, you got a short amount of time. So I don't know what the hell you're going to have to do. Run around the block about 500 times. Some of you haven't even touched it. You just paid your money and forgot about it. It doesn't make any sense. Come on. I want you to move now. I don't even know anything. They might have all hit their goal, but I know human nature. I know life gets in the way. So if you did screw it up, sign up again when the time is right. Okay. I talked about this in the Patreon yesterday. My son, Jim, there was a domestic issue in the trailer park. Now, Jim lives in this horrible environment. And, it isn't the best. No, where he lives is, it's a friggin' trailer park. And he knows that it's the worst thing in the world, and he can't stand it, and he wants to get out of there. At the time, it worked out. It made sense at the time for him to get there, but it wouldn't be so bad, but the surroundings is not very good for a family atmosphere. So he's like, I want to get out. So he's doing what he needs to do to make that happen. And he's really kicking it into high gear after this latest incident. And damn, it got off the rails. And you won't believe how this unfolded, but if you missed the Patreon, this is how it went. I find out after I got done with the free podcast yesterday. I go down, gonna make some food, have another cup of coffee, talk to my wife. She goes, yeah, there was a bad incident. Grayson was out riding his bike, and some neighbor said something terrible to him. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And my grandson just loves the outdoors. The kid is such a throwback because all he likes to do is play outside and run around and ride his bike and be on his scooter, falling off the thing, skinning his knee, climbing trees, playing tag, kick the can, hula hoop, all old school shit. This kid is just awesome, which I cannot believe. 7 years old. Can you believe that? So he's riding his bike, and one of the neighbors is out. He's obviously an adult. He's a homeowner. And my grandson goes, "Hi, mister, how are you?" And the guy, tells him to go the F home. And he's like, what? And so he understood. I don't know if he understood the words, but I know he understood the tone, and the guy was aggressive. So my grandson went home and talked to his mom and says, hey, so Mama Bear comes out, and dude is there, and he again reiterates that, hey, yeah, he shouldn't be out. Tell him to stay the F home and stay away from my house. What? And she's like confused like I am right now. And she's like, well, no, he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go for a bike ride, he can go for a bike ride. Give him the old, it's a free country. And then this maniac says, you don't know what's coming, bitch. Oh, boy, now okay, problem. Mama Bear goes back, talks to Papa Bear, my son. Now, Jim doesn't take shit from anybody, so he's like, what do I do? Now, he was steeped in emotion, and so I might have done the same thing, and he was concerned, like, I better not call the cops, because if I call the cops, maybe that would lead to a retaliation, you know? So he gets in the car and goes to Cabela's to buy a shotgun. Now, you might be thinking, was he going to shoot him? No. It wasn't anything like that. I guess he was concerned for the home. I mean, essentially, he was just threatened. I guess technically he was. Technically, he wasn't threatened. She was. I guess it depends on how you look at it. It wasn't as obvious of a threat, but it sure was threatening tone and downright scary. So I wouldn't blame anybody for wanting to go kick that guy's ass or wanting to protect himself. But at the same time, well, as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, he's got to do. I think he needs to call the police. I think they would like to know that. So I called my friend who's a cop in the county where he lives. I go, look, dude. So here's what's up. What would you want a person in this scenario to do? What do you think they should do? And he says they should call the sheriff and have a deputy come over and talk to them. Okay, all right. So I called Jim. I go, look, dude, turn around, go home. Don't go buy a gun right now. That's not that might be step D. You're on step A. Go home and take care of this and inform the people who are the professionals in this scenario about keeping the peace, because this is not good. You don't want you want to do this by the book. I'm not saying you don't buy a shotgun. I'm just saying right now the first step is this is not okay. All right, first of all, informs the people who run the trailer park. They did nothing. It's awful. They call the sheriffs. They're doing all police reports over the phone. And so Mom explains what happened. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem. You did the right thing by calling. We'll take care of this. So they did. And but I don't know what all happened there. But you can just imagine if you have someone that is that horribly aggressive to a young mom and a 7-year-old, holy shit, this is bad. So that's how it unfolded. And I don't know much more about that, but I do know Jim then, after he did that, he went and got a gun. A beautiful, beautiful home defense shotgun. And I go, all right, this is nice, Jim. Well done. I applaud your willingness to do this, because if this crazy maniac starts to burst into your home because he's pissed off, there you go. You don't want to be calling the police and waiting for them. You want to be able to scatter this guy's face into mist all throughout the front lawn of the residence. Okay, so in fact, I said you should make it a big deal when you go home, when you get to the when you pull in the house. Well, that was a fun trip to the gun store. What a beautiful home defense shotgun I now have. Oh, this is gonna be terrific. Nice short barrel so I can get around corners. Ah, yes. So that's what's up. That's what's and in the meantime, God, he's working his tail off to get out of that place. It's difficult to get out of a trailer park, though, because first of all, He bought the damn trailer, and then they depreciate badly. So he's probably upside down on the damn deal. I don't know how that's going to work, but he's got to get out of that, secure a loan. He's going to call. He's got, where'd Mario's sign go? Damn it, son of a bitch. The humidity keeps knocking Mario's sign down. Hang on again. This is going to be a regular thing, apparently. What the fuck? Okay. So he's working with Mario, get into a loan. And then get into a normal house. In a normal neighborhood. So, all right. That's the update. That's a personal shenanigans update. Got so much stuff to get to on this show. I just can't believe it. I've got Governor Whitmer of Michigan, who, if you aren't from Michigan, you know because you've heard me talk about her, and she's become quite a thing in the state. Hated by the majority, I would guess. I would say it's 70-30 right now. People are turning on her left and right. Listeners of this show, Democratic voters, this is crazy. Bleeding Heart Brian is that. He's a bleeding heart liberal. That's why I call him that. Dear friend of mine, I am a conservative, but kind of a moderate conservative. I'm not like extreme right-wing idiot. I don't wear a MAGA hat. And I'm the first one to say Trump. That was a stupid thing to say. You're a dumbass. But she got us two. And at one point, he was all about staying home, Bleeding Heart Brian. And I was all about, this thing's a hoax. It's like the flu. Remember that earlier months ago on this show? And then I got in lockstep with the stay-at-home order and supporting Whitmer. Okay? He's flipped. He's against her. That's incredible. If Bleeding Heart Brian is against her, oh, my God. And I am still in support of stay-at-home. And the way that, it isn't so much stay-at-home. It's more about how she's opening the state. People like Bleeding Heart Brian wanted to turn the valve on all the way and say, we're good. We're good. Thank you, but we're good. And I'm like, she's being cautious. It's going to happen. It's just going to be a little bit more time. Anyway, and I'm not talking about this right now, but I'm just letting you know it's coming. It's coming up because Whitmer, this whole story about putting the boat in the water apparently is true. And fuck, there's a lot of moving parts to this one. But don't forget, Dear Meathead, brought to you by JM Synthetics. We are 35 minutes out from Dad. Since I promoted it just a few minutes ago, do we have anybody who has stepped up with a question for Dad? No. If you have an old question and I haven't yet read it, send it. Resend it. I've got one from Megan. Okay? Got one from Dean, but I don't know. It's kind of dated. It's about the dam failures in Midland. So, all right, send them along, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. But I wanted to get to this. I got an email from a guy who used to email the show all the time back in the BBL days. The world-famous emailer Tim, who has, he's in lockstep with the people telling Whitmer to go to hell. He's probably the type of guy that protests the Capitol. And this is what he writes. He's responding to my complaint that random people keep walking up to me and saying, like, throwing the gauntlet down on Governor Whitmer, saying she's a dumbass and this is terrible, not knowing how I feel about it. And I think that those people are so wrapped up in the emotion of it, they assume that I must agree with them, but I don't. And it's always awkward because I have to kind of go, yeah, right, she's a bitch. Or I go, but I surely, I don't like giving them the other side of it because I'm always afraid they're going to lose their minds. And my point was the boldness of going down the road of such a sensitive topic, to me, is on par with me walking up to my neighbor and saying, yeah, man, can you believe that that abortion is still a thing? Okay, what do you hey, man, I can't believe that so-and-so is for gun control. I would never do that. I would never just go out of my way to just randomly drop onto an unsuspecting person something that might get me into a contentious discussion. That was the point of the whole thing. Now, Tim, of course, misses that because he's stupid. And this is what he writes. He's a terrific emailer, terrific supporter of the show, but I haven't heard from him in a while. Dumbass Tim writes, subject line, stop being a fucking little bitch, he writes. Listen up, you pompous, arrogant, sea-sucking, fat-ass albino Kenyan. Yeah, that's right. You're not the only person who can use adult language when speaking to a dumbass. I cannot believe I just heard you go on a whiny rant about people. It was not a whiny rant. I was simply pointing out that I can't believe people are this bold in doing it, you dummy. Whiny rant about people coming up to you and sharing their opinion. You spent weeks challenging people to do that. So don't come crying to us when people actually do that to you. They're not challenging me, idiot. I just explained to you, and I explained then that they have no idea. They don't listen to this podcast. They just come up to me out of the blue. I'll be mowing my lawn. My neighbor comes up to me and says, I can't believe this. This is terrible. Only the old people are affected. This is stupid. Oh, my God. It's just like the flu. No, it's not. That's been debunked. The vast majority of people that are pissed off while the stay-at-home orders is that the government never told us exactly what that was supposed to do other than flatten the curve. The curve was flat. The curve was flattened well over a month ago. So what is the difference between 2 weeks ago and Thursday that justified park to the state B and opened up? God, he writes, I don't know if he's doing voice to text or what, but it's all screwed up. Nothing changed, so it appears that they are just randomly picking dates to open up. Although I agree with a bunch of what you said early on, I would be lying if I said I wasn't hate listening to you over the last month. Love the show. God bless you, dumbass. Emailer Tim. Let me explain this to you, you stupid moron. The idea that she's cautious but yet opening the state at the same time is consistent with what she's done from the beginning, okay? If you would just relax, you'll be able to see that as we have flattened the curve, and a lot of that has to do with what has taken place in this state and and people listening to that, she's opening it cautiously. And it would not surprise me is if by Friday of this week, she has opened up another portion of the state completely. And in the end, it'll all be opened by the next deadline. I think I would be surprised if it goes further than this. Lately, we've been having 200 to 300, maybe 400 new cases a day. It's been a expert job by all people involved. It's been incredibly uncomfortable. But I am sick and tired of people saying the economy will be destroyed. It won't. This is just like the flu. It's not. Case in point, my good buddy who I talked about yesterday, Tom Truman, who has been just so harshly critical, and I've just been killing him lately about it. We just hit the 100,000 dead mark. And I sent him because he had always said, yeah, it's on par with the flu. Well, it's not. The flu, on a bad flu year, you're looking at 60,000 for 1 year. I go, hey, knucklehead, 100,000, 3 months. This is math. If you extrapolate that over a year, you potentially could lose 400,000 people in 1 year from something that 5 months ago didn't fucking exist. Now, how is that the flu? But yet, I am part of a dwindling number of people. I am being brutalized from all sides. But I remain strong about this. And I've heard it from so many. I would say the majority of the audience wants to kick my ass. They're saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're wrong. All right, great. All right, bring it on. Bring it on. I invite you to reach out to me and try to convince me otherwise. All right, when it comes to Whitmer, this doesn't help, though. Her fucking husband is just a dumb shit. I forget his name. Mark, Mike, I don't know. He's got a different last name. I think he's a dentist. Well, dumbass. They got a piece of property up in Elk Rapids, which is just to the east of Traverse City. Now, to be fair, that community is open for business. You can go up there, you can do whatever you want. I think restaurants have less capacity, but they're open. The idea was, apparently they wanted to go up there or get the boat in the water or something like that. And at first I didn't believe this to be true, but she has addressed this exact thing. And my God, I cannot believe the short-sighted nature, the tone-deaf behavior of her dickhead husband, who, I would hate to be him. I would hate to be him the day that she found out that he tried this shit. Even if he was kidding, even if he wasn't kidding, I don't know. She says he was trying to be hilarious, but what a fucking blunder. This is of all the governors, Whitmer is probably the most known when it comes to all of the states. You got Gavin Newsom in California. You're not supposed to know the names of governors. Okay, but the whole world knows the name of Whitmer because she's turned the screws down on stay-at-home for a long time. She's tip-top of the heap when it comes to stay-at-home. Gavin Newsom from California is a big one. Cuomo's been in the news because of the frank discussion on the updates. But you don't want to be known by the rest of the world as the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. No one's supposed to know who you are. Prior to this happening, everyone knew who she was. So that means when you have people camping out in front of your house with guns, you got crazy people holding the governor in effigy, you got people like Bleeding Heart Brian who once supported you now don't support you. When the only supporter you have, the only person who is willing to take a stand against you is some piece of shit, small-time podcaster, it's fucking terrible. That's when you call the family into the living room for a meeting and say, all right, nobody do anything. Don't step one toe out of line because the world's going to be watching the Whitmer clan. If any one of you fuck up, we're in deep caca. So shut up. Had she had done that, maybe dumbass might not have done this. And I didn't even know if this was true as of yesterday. I thought it might have been one of those just internet stories circulating around. But she confirmed that this happened yesterday. And that was dickhead calls the marina up north and says, hey, can I get the boat in water? And they said, no, man, there's been a backlog because we couldn't do anything, so you can't get your boat in the water right now. And he says, would it help if I'm the governor? If I'm the governor's husband? Fuck, that's it. That's all you had to do, you stupid son of a bitch. This is how it played out yesterday because she addressed this exact thing in her press conference. By the way, before I get to this, she's got a couple of interpreters. And the one in this one, and I'll link it up here, she makes the weirdest fucking faces I have ever seen an interpreter make. It's I can barely concentrate on the governor's words. You all know what I'm talking about. She's got bone straight hair, long. She's got a really good-looking body. I mean, but her face, she's really animated facially. She's always like, And I can't even concentrate on the governor when this weirdo signer, she's doing all the signs, is doing her thing. I can't handle it. Anyway, this is how it unfolded.
During her news conference today, the governor addressed some recent reports involving her family.
Political reporter Rick Albin here now with her response to this. Rick?
Yeah, Brian and Sue, there was a lot of social media chatter over the weekend about whether the governor and her family had gone to their second home up north. Also, questions about her husband and had he used her position to try to get their boat up there, put in the water ahead of others.
My husband made a failed attempt at humor last week when checking in with the small business that helps with our boat and dock up north.
By the way, that line right there, Bleeding Heart Brian, who again has flipped and turned on her, he said that's the same shit Trump says when he injects chemicals, when he says, yeah, we're going to inject some bleach and clean the lungs. And the next day he said, I was being sarcastic. Brian, and he's right, he says that sounds like something Trump would say. Yes, you are right. It does. However, she doesn't have really the track record of Trump, so I don't know. I don't know. You're kind of square pegging round hole here. He may have just been being a dumbass, or he may have been actually serious. I guess we don't know. We'll have to take her word for it. Nobody believes this.
Knowing it wouldn't make a difference, he jokingly asked if being married to me might move him up in the queue. Obviously, with the motorized boating prohibition in our early days of COVID-19, he thought it might get a laugh.
All right. Now, can you imagine if she's in the other room and she hears him on the phone saying that? She would have grabbed a cast iron pan and just whammo right across the head. She's like, you dumb fuck. How could you possibly do that?
Didn't. And to be honest, I wasn't laughing either when it was relayed to me. Be perceived.
Yeah.
He regrets it. I wish it wouldn't have happened. And that's really all we have to say.
The governor said that her husband did go to the cottage up north to do some cleanup, but did not take the family. But this is maybe really about a larger question, and that is this. With the weather getting so much warmer out there, with so much furor on social media about what the governor and her family did or didn't do over the long Memorial Day weekend, and with another stay-at-home order going through.
You should have said that would have made this, I think, work. Would have been if she said, even if he was kidding, say, I want you to know that my husband was not kidding. And he tried to pull a fast one. So going forward, I have kicked his ass. He's a dumbass, and his penis will not see the inside of my butthole anymore. And then turn around and say, and there'll be like a sign that says, do not enter on her ass at that point. Going forward, my husband will no longer be allowed to get anal.
Just how many people are going to be willing to continue after 12 weeks of following that stay-at-home order? It's something we'll watch and something that could have an impact on the overall opening of the state of Michigan.
That's something you'd never get on the radio. Me acting like Governor Whitmer saying my husband will not be, his penis will not see the inside of my anal or of my butthole anymore. See, that's why you got to love the podcast much more than the radio show. Those things can actually happen. So that's it. She then went on a long rant about the things she's had to put up with, and we all know. But man, every day this goes on, I see more people jumping off the Whitmer ship onto the We Hate Whitmer ship. I would say most of the people enjoying this podcast do not support it anymore. I get that. I honestly, I actually would be surprised if it went any further than the current mid-June date. But as always, reach out to me with your questions, comments, concerns. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Brian writes, so you don't think that hundreds of small businesses not being able to reopen won't have an impact on the economy? I never said that. My buddy said the economy is destroyed. It is like an absolute is not. It's not true. I think that what you say is true too. that I think that there's absolutely real texture to what you say, but that isn't what I said. Brian, you're putting words into my mouth. I never once said hundreds of small businesses not being able to reopen won't have an impact on the economy. Never said that. I simply said I don't think the economy is destroyed. Destroyed means it's broken and can't be repaired. I'm saying it's compromised. Additionally, look up the recent suicide rates that are rising dramatically. Not saying that we need to reopen like a tsunami. I agree with you. But things need to start moving towards small businesses being able to do business. They are. So essentially, yeah, I agree with all of what you just said, even though you did put words into my mouth. But what can be expected is that because you're from New Jersey. Sorry, I just got an email that distracted me. As always, dear Meathead, in about, 18 minutes, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I'll ask Dad about this, how he feels. And because I don't know where he is on this right now, because time has passed. So, all right, that is coming up. Where am I? The Open of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you by some great sponsors. I'll get to them in just a second, but don't forget, for Father's Day, Cameo. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Let me salute Dad, whether it be the father of the kids, your father. I love this. So much fun. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. It is a personal shout out. Cost you about $16. I charged it at $15, but Cameo raised the price on me without telling me. Thank you very much. But it's so much better than a card or whatever emotionless gift card you're going to get the loved one. All right, make it extra special. You can go ahead and get them that, but get them this too. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. I can make it a silly, hilarious roast. I can make it warm and fuzzy, whatever you like. You are the boss. I am the mouthpiece for your wishes. You tell me. I just got booked a couple of times yesterday by one terrific person who wanted me to salute his kids. We're finishing up the school year right now, despite all this craziness. That's a great idea. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Okay, Terrytown RV wants you to know that they are open for business, and you can get a fifth-wheel travel trailer, truck camper, folding camper, motorhome. Wow, the list goes on at Terrytown RV, the biggest in the state and in the several state area. TerrytownRV.com, 616-236-2754. You see one you like? Call them up. Say, hey, man, haul that travel trailer to the front of the parking lot. I'm going to go see it, and I might put a deposit down on it. TerrytownRV.com. There are lots of places that sell these things in and around West Michigan. They all have fine people working for them. But Terrytown RV committed to this show, so I'm asking you to commit to them when you think you're in the market for a terrific piece of equipment that will make your camping experience so fantastic. All right? And I've got something fun playing with Terrytown RV. We're going to Tennessee, East Tennessee, Smoky Mountains in July. I talked to you about that. And the word on the street is, instead of taking my rig that I have here, the Class C camper, which is terrific, Terrytown says, hey, man, save the miles on yours. We want you to take one of our brand new ones. And then have a daily podcast when you're on vacation, sponsored by us. And I'm like, well, that's a great idea. I love it. So that's what we're going to do. So while I'm on vacation, I'm going to do a short podcast every single day for about 15 minutes, in addition to the best of and lost Zane recording material that you'll get every day. And they're sponsoring that. So it'd be like a podcast vacation blog while I'm doing my trip. So thank you to Terrytown RV. More details on that as we get closer. Another one of the great sponsors that has been terrific and instrumental in keeping the show afloat, the free podcast, is Horizon Hydroponics, and the plants keep growing. Some of you want to start the hobby of growing stuff without soil, growing indoors. That's what hydroponics is, okay? And the plants keep growing during the pandemic. Thank God they've got a terrific online presence to be able to get you your stuff that you order from them at Horizon. That's HORIZEN, hydroponics.com. And you can also buy it curbside, okay? If you're in Kalamazoo, Lansing, or Grand Rapids or Byron Center, Michigan, you can do it curbside. Order it online and pick it up curbside. It's all there online at the website, 877-791-1664. If you want to just want to call it in. And they can still give you the advice. These are all experts, people who grow stuff indoors all the time. They have all the knowledge, terrific knowledge-based business. All right, they all do this. They grow enormous, whatever it is that they grow indoors. It could be tomatoes, could be beans, could be Brussels sprouts, could be the biggest, boldest cannabis plants you've ever seen, with enormous, beautiful, stinky, stickiest of the ickiest of the stickiest buds you've ever seen. Because in Michigan, this is the greenest of all the states. Colorado has nothing on Michigan. Hell, in Michigan, on your person, you can drive around with 10 ounces. And the cops go, "Hey, man, that's a good-looking bag of weed you got there. Looks good. See you later." That's in Michigan. That's 10 times the amount than what you can carry in Colorado. So Michigan is so damn green. Grow it on your own. All right. Let's talk fun with politics. And this is another great example of Trump shutting down a reporter in a hilarious way. This is my new favorite thing. I love playing these clips on the radio. I would never dream of playing these clips. For some reason, when I was on the radio, it was beaten into my head that if you play anything politicky, it's a recipe for disaster. I say bullshit. I love playing these things and laughing at these clips. You all know where I stand on it, but I mean, this is it's too good to not play. You could get a supercut. It would be many, many minutes in length of Trump shutting down reporters. And the latest one is because Joe Biden, for Memorial Day, did you see him? He and Mrs. Biden, they went on to a Memorial Day, remembrance or an observance for people who have passed. It might have been at the Vietnam Memorial Wall or some other similar poignant thing. And tell you what, they look like freaking assassins. Did you see those two? I was intimidated because Biden's in black, and he's got the sunglasses on and a black mask. It looked terrific. And Mrs. Biden was, oh, man, did she look good, too. What a dress. I like Mrs. Biden. She had this black dress on with, like, white trim. She looked like she was, like, one of the people on, like, the Starship Enterprise back in the day. And she had a black mask on as well with sunglasses, these two. I thought they looked good, frankly. But a lot of people are like, the mask has been politicized. If you wear a mask, people say, well, then you support, you're left-leaning. And if you don't wear a mask, that means you support Trump because Trump doesn't wear a mask. So who knows? Who knows the truth here? It doesn't matter. And do I think that there is some truth in Biden wearing a mask to put out a message? I do. I do think that. I also think that Trump not wearing it puts out the opposite message, where he's talking to his constituency and saying, fuck it. Don't wear a mask. And, I think it's all become this. That's just what I believe. So Trump was beating up Biden because he wore a mask. This reporter who's talking to Trump is wearing a mask, and he brings it up, and then Trump does this thing, and then Trump shuts the guy down and says he can't hear the reporter because the reporter has a mask on. And the guy says, well, I'll just speak louder. And then Trump says, yeah. But you're going to hear him shut him down and be dismissive about it. The reporter's also referencing Trump fueling the fire on a conspiracy theory that Joe Scarborough had one of his people that worked in his office when he was in Congress killed a 28-year-old woman who died in his office in some weird circumstance. Trump's been fueling that conspiracy like a big fat dummy. This is how it all unfolded.
Were you meaning to criticize Vice President Biden for wearing a mask yesterday? And can you explain why you've been tweeting about a conspiracy theory that has been proven to not be true?
No, Biden can wear a mask, but he was standing outside with his wife, perfect conditions, perfect weather. They're inside, they don't wear masks, and so I thought it was very unusual that he had one on. But I thought that was fine. I wasn't criticizing him at all. Why would I ever do a thing like that?
You're full of shit.
And your second question was? I couldn't hear you. Can you take it up because I cannot hear you?
I'll just speak louder, sir.
Oh, okay, good. You want to be politically correct. Go ahead.
No, sir, I just want to wear the mask.
Go ahead.
Were you meaning to criticize?
Go ahead. Anytime you get the East Coast, go ahead. That's, I guess, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Move on. My God. Yeah, you want to be politically correct. So that's what this is all about with Trump, without a doubt. It's maddening. All right. More in the political front. And this has to do with Joe Biden. And for a little bit of context, just the other day, and we talked about this yesterday. Hang on. Excuse me. Sorry. The whole thing about when he was on with that guy Charlemagne the God, and they were talking, I don't know, black stuff. There was the interview that Biden said, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black, is how he was quoted. And I said, well, wait, he didn't say that. He misspoke when he said it. He said, and you ain't black. We all knew what he meant, but he did misspeak. And this is, again,
And you ain't black.
how that went. And you ain't black. What he should have said was, then you ain't black.
And you ain't black.
And that kind of goes in with, he said a lot of dumb things. Over the years, there's another massive supercut that exists of him doing just that, similar to Trump. And then, of course, there's...
Look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
When he called the guy in Wisconsin fat.
Look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
I think that what he sees, because of his age, I do believe this, what he sees and what he thinks, he's like Homer Simpson. It kind of tinkers around in his brain, and then it flies out of his mouth.
Look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
You remember that? Look, Fat, here's the deal. And then you see all those little kids go, oh my God. They're all reacting because he just called the fat guy fat. Oh. This one was sent to me. And it might not be what it seems, but it sure seems on its surface like Joe Biden, like his brain just locked up here. He's talking to a reporter on May 25th about his politics, and the reporter was comparing him to other people that he has been able to vanquish in the primaries, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, whoever it may be. And he talks about who Joe Biden has to beat. That's what he says. And this is how it sounds. This is really, really strange when I heard it. And I was like, why haven't I heard more about this? And I have an answer.
To say you're going to govern as a progressive and enact programs in the mold of Sanders and Warren, and if so, what does that say to either moderate Democrats or independents or even some Republicans dissatisfied with President Trump?
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record. The fact is that some areas...
Okay, now when I first heard that, it said subject line, Joe Biden is going to beat Joe Biden. Pellerito sent this along, and he wrote, it's dementia or Alzheimer's. I can't figure out which one is which. Again, let's back that up.
To say you're going to govern as a progressive and enact programs in the mold of Sanders and Warren, and if so, what does that say to either moderate Democrats or independents or even some Republicans dissatisfied with President Trump?
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Look at my record.
All right.
The fact is that some areas...
I was like, I don't believe this. Why haven't I heard about this? So I looked it up. And there's a little bit more to it, and I'll kind of let you be the judge. And because if this, I mean, everybody would have made a huge deal about this if he really did say, but it sure sounded like he said, I'm going to beat Joe Biden. Now, if we didn't have, moments like that and
you ain't black.
Moments like this, we wouldn't, if we didn't have a history of Joe Biden being Joe Biden, this would never have crossed our minds. What some are saying, and I think I'm 51% believing that he said this. I'm going to be Joe Biden. When contextually it lines up as, are you going to be like your progressive opponents when it comes to governing? And he says, I'm going to be Joe Biden. I think that's what it is.
To say you're going to govern as a progressive
I'm going to be
and enact
Joe Biden.
programs in the mold of...
I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Are you hearing beat or be?
I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
I think it's I'm going to be Joe Biden. Now that I've heard it, now that I've gotten a little bit more context, I can't say with a clear conscience that he could possibly be that screwed up in the brain. Because if he did say, I'm going to beat Joe Biden, he would have not caught it. That would be 100% the biggest story going on in the world. And everyone, like, his brain is completely mush. There's no way that this guy can lead a country if Joe Biden says, I'm Joe Biden and I can beat Joe Biden.
I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Social media users, conservative social media users are misquoting Joe Biden, sharing an out-of-context clip that they claim shows a Democratic front runner accidentally saying he's going to beat himself in the upcoming presidential election.
I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
But I can't, with a clear conscience, commit to that. I do not believe that Biden said, I'm going to beat Joe Biden. I believe he said I'm going to be Joe Biden. It's like saying, you be you, I'm Eric, I'm going to be Eric. That's what he's saying there. But it was interesting to see it come in on an email saying, oh, man, his brain is fried. I don't think it is. What do you think? Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I would love to hear what you think about that. What do you think he said there? I would say the majority of you would have to agree that he said B-E, not B-E-A-T. Dear Meathead, brought to you by JM Synthetics, is, now. I'm going to call Dad up in just a second here. But first of all, don't forget I got the Patreon here coming up a little bit later on. Patreon is where I do another full podcast. Okay, sometimes I shouldn't say full. What to me, full is an hour and a half to 2 hours. But I do another podcast. It ranges in time from like 30 minutes to maybe an hour, depending on the mood, I guess. But it's more of the stuff that I don't talk about in the freebie, and it's a little bit more personal because I have a lot of interactions with you during the live stream of it. $5 and $10 a month is all it sets you back. So if you enjoy the freebie, support me on the Patreon. It is funded 100% by you. So it has no sponsorship affiliation whatsoever. You are the sponsors. Thank you for supporting the show on Patreon. It does keep the lights on. You can find out more information at patreon.com/Eric Zane. The Kent County Health Department helping this show by letting me talk about their initiatives. Thank you to them. They want to remind you to cough into the elbow, wear a mask. I know, wear a mask. I know the mask has become a political football, but wear your mask. That hasn't changed. And social distance when you're out and about. 616-632 if you need more information about the WIC program. Thank you to them for supporting the people that may need a little help getting through to the other side of this. 616-632-7200. Baldwin Ace Hardware, they had a hell of a weekend up north, as people have been it's coming alive, thank God, up north, up in Baldwin, Michigan. I know that about 3,600 people went through the doors at Baldwin Ace Hardware. I know this to be true from Mike and Jennifer Gilmurray from Thursday to Monday. So that is cool. Thank you so much. When you go up north, don't bring anything with you. Get it at Baldwin Ace Hardware, the kings of DIY awesomeness in the Northland. Thank you. And finally, for this set of commercials, Green Clean Technologies. They clean data centers for businesses throughout Michigan and beyond. If you work in a company that has a room full of servers and there's an air conditioner trying to keep it cool and there's some nerd there saying, oh, no, the servers are overheating, I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. You know, those environments need to be pristine and very, very clean, okay? They can't have dust particles floating through the air, and you cannot keep it clean on your own. It's impossible, okay? There's a protocol that goes into keeping your tech clean, and if you don't keep it clean, you run the risk of servers blowing up and just a nightmare scenario as your business melts to the ground. For just a small fee each month, Green Clean Technologies goes into these businesses and makes those critical environments, data centers, banks, hospitals, you name it, critical infrastructure clean, destaticked, no minute particles floating through the air, charged in a weird way that's just going to fry your tech. Call Green Clean at 989-560-7272. As always, thank you to them. Hang on. All right. If you got a question for Dad on Dear Meathead, send them in, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Dear Meathead is brought to you by JM Synthetics, online at jmsynthetics.com. I appreciate them for supporting Dear Meathead. And, of course, at jmsynthetics.com, you can get all of your AMSOIL products. And if you pay $20 a month to become a preferred customer, you unlock big-time savings on their full line of gear, okay? The DIY Pro gets her stuff from JM Synthetics. All of your fluids, your stuff to keep things lubricated. That's what AMSOIL is. That's what JM Synthetics is all about. They sponsor Dear Meathead. Let's bring in the man of the hour right now. Your questions, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I can't hear you, guy. Where are you?
Man, you're Johnny on the spot, eh?
Actually, I'm a little late today, Dad.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to say it. What happened? You slipped in?
No, I had to. I just looked at the time. I was ranting about some stuff in politics, and, you know, time got away from me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, Dad, it's good to hear your voice. Are you and Joanne doing okay? The audience wants to know.
Well, we're so-so. This quarantine business is getting to us a little bit, you know.
Yeah, there's some cracks in the foundation. Have you about had it?
I've had it. I really have had it. For weeks, I've been wanting to go buy some kind of stuff for the yard and all that, and I don't want to get involved in that. So going to Home Depot and putting masks on and all that, it's not my forte, so I don't even go out of the house. I go out of the house, but I'm in my yard, you know.
Yeah, of course. Now, there has been, it's kind of like in Michigan, and especially where you live, it's been on the decline, the amount of people that are becoming ill on a daily basis. And
yeah, I know, but we still don't have a handle on this whole thing. You know.
There's been a lot. I want to know where you stand on this because it's been a big topic on this show. A lot of people that listen to my show were in the same boat as you in terms of how they feel about it. But as time has passed, they've gotten so sick of it that they now are turning on the governor in her handling of this. Are you in still the same spot, or are you like starting to like, all right, it's time to open up the state?
No, I actually appreciate the governor. I think she's doing her job. The average person sitting at home is tired of all of this, so we bellyache. But the governor is doing a good thing. She don't want to be doing this, but she has to do that. She's really saving lives. I mean, why? What's so difficult about people not understanding that she is doing her job and she's doing it properly?
I really love to hear you say that because I feel the same way. And I've had numerous people whose opinions I trust and who emotionally I love, listeners of the show who have turned on her, and they are vicious in the things that they say about her, and it bothers me because they are convinced that she's just doing it, I don't know, to be mean, to hurt people. They keep saying it's a power kick, and I'm like, I don't think it's that complex, you know?
People that think the way you just said that they do are totally childish people. She has no vendetta toward the public of Michigan State. She's simply trying to do things to save lives. Not even a question of save money.
Right. That's how I feel, too.
This woman is doing one hell of a job. I'm proud of her. This is my opinion, of course. No one has to be abiding by it.
Of course.
But if you guys were the governor, whoever is bitching about it, pardon my English.
That's all right.
What would they do? Just tell people, go over there, keep your masks off, go to the beach, go to the stores and all that, and die tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm thinking that they would say that, Dad. I think that they've had it so much that they want her to rip the Band-Aid off and just kind of roll the dice, you know?
No, someone has to control that. She can't be doing that because I would not approve of her doing that. That's me.
Yes. Now,
everyone has got their own opinions. But yeah, hey, we're all suffering sitting home or sitting in my yard. How much can you do that?
Now, Dad.
But then again, would you like to send your kids out to that exposure and bury them tomorrow?
Now, Dad, on the other side of that, there's been a lot of people that have been outspoken and said, like I was reading a quote from, if you remember the name, Ted Nugent.
Yes.
Ted said, I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do whatever I want. And if you are concerned about it, well, then I guess you got to stay in your house and not come out with the rest of us.
The problem is we don't know how often we're going to be confronted with you. So we're in a blind alley. We just come up and see somebody without a mask and without the protection and talk to them.
Yeah,
and put a sign on your back that do not come near me. I have this and this.
Well, I think that
people don't know that when they're talking to someone else who what they have.
I think that this is ultimately going to be it's going to go down in history as a battle like this. I think that there has been a number of people who have turned and now are who may have once thought, okay, yeah, I can get behind the governor, and now they've changed their tune, and it's really interesting to watch it all unfold.
The whole thing boils down is because they cannot do the things that they were doing. It involves them to be outdoors. It involves to be not wearing masks and all that. Hey, I despise wearing a mask. But my God, if I go to a grocery shopping store with my wife and I stay in a car and she exposes herself to that, I still have a mask on my face.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to call me scary, but believe you me, I've had scarier things than this in my lifetime that I've been confronted with it, that nobody's aware of it. So I have no fear, but I don't want to die prematurely.
Very good, very good. Well, we'll leave that right there, Dad. I really appreciate your candor and your frankness. You were able to get right to the point, and that is your strong suit.
Yes, it is.
I'm guessing that is also echoed by my lovely stepmother as well, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen.
All right, Dad, here we go. Nick writes this. Dear Meathead, today is my birthday. And as I...
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Many, many more, friend.
I'm sorry?
I said many, many more.
Yes. He writes, as I get older, I continually question my decision as a parent to willingly be the bad guy in the eyes of my kids. I guess he's the one who administers the discipline. He writes, I've become the only parent that will follow up on punishment along the way my kids have told me they feel like I don't like them, which couldn't be further from the truth. I explained to them that it hurts my feelings as much as it does theirs. Do you have any advice? Thanks, Nick.
Nick, I appreciate the fact that you're a good parent and you're concerned about your children. But, you know, the one thing, this has gone too far. This is at my old age, I'm recognizing this. I was pretty tough father, but I really let the strings kind of loose. I think my kids can attest to that. They did pretty much what they wanted to do. We had some fun together.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that we did what we wanted to do.
Yeah, but again, I was a father, and there's a time in my life that I had to be strong and so forth. But this bit that we want to punish our kids to teach them a lesson, when we use the word punish, that's a pretty harsh word. For instance, if the government's going to punish, they're either going to nail you, put you in prison. In fact, if you're in your country, they'll shoot you.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
So take the punishment, not to the level that you really hear people punish their children.
Yeah.
I've really been thinking about this. I'm glad that he brought this subject up. I am so sorry about the times that I was rough on my children. The roughness of a father generally is anger. Generally.
Well, maybe I don't know about that. Maybe with you, but
well, I was upset when the kids go bananas on me.
Yeah.
So I get angry, but I never smacked them or hit them and all that I know of. So what I think you should do is be gentle, have an adult conversation if the kids are within the adult age type, like 10 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. I'll consider them as an adult. Keep talking to them.
Do that for your wife, too.
Oh!
Hear that?
She said do that for your wife, too.
Yeah. So, but then again, be strong. Be straight with them that, hey, I'm punishing you because I don't hate you. I punish you because it's a wrong thing. The punishment is to remind you.
Yeah, for
next
sure.
time you're going to do that there is a price to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm all for that, and I don't think that means you're being too bad. I mean, you got to punish the kid. I agree with that sentiment. And Nick, to follow up, what.
Yeah, Nick, if you're going to take the phone away from him, be strong and take it away. For instance.
Yes.
And then don't break down, on my phone. That's not the point. You're not going to get your phone until you know that you're not going to do this again.
You'll be happier in the long run. And when they get out of being a kid, they're going to appreciate that. They're going to hate it now, and it's going to be tough. And I know, and I know what you feel, Nick, because sometimes you might not be like Mrs. Nick might not be as supportive of that, or she might not be, but she's got to be in line too. She's got to be like when the kids. I used to have this issue. If I was tough on the kids, they would go to mom, and then mom would kind of undermine, and that's a real problem.
That's a no-no.
Oh, that's the worst. So that was a battle of mine, and as long as she can just say, look, that's your father's department. You're gonna have to take it up with him. If she can do that, that's better,
That's an important thing that you just brought up. A husband and wife should be in tune to, for instance, if the wife is doing a punishment, et cetera, should not get involved. If you want to get involved, privately talk to your husband. Hey, what do you think of this? Do you think you should?
Yes.
This is great. If you can do that, that's the way to go.
All right, now let me just recap. Earlier you said you made it clear that an 8, 9, and 10-year-old is not an adult. So I got that.
That is correct.
All right. I got an email, Dad, from someone who who is a new sponsor of the show. She is a distributor of products from a company known as Zingular for health and wellness. And the lady goes by the name of Kim Lazera.
Oh, my God. How's she doing?
She's doing very well, and she is offering this. She says, tell Rob and Joanne, she calls you Rob, of course,
yes,
that they can order what they need from Home Depot online, and she will go and pick it up for you so that you don't have to go there and deal with masks in the public. So how about that?
Oh, my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then you can see her.
Which Home Depot does she go to?
She'll go to anyone. She doesn't care. She just wants to help you. So if you need anything, let me know, and she'll take care of it.
We would contact her through you.
Yeah, and then you can wave at her through the window and say, "Hey, how you doing, Kimmy?"
Okay. Oh my God, it's been years since I've seen her. She was a good person, really good person.
No, she still is.
Well, we had a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, me too. All right, Dad, listen to this. Dean writes, "Dear Meathead, when?"
Is that Dean?
Yeah, Dean. You've actually met
Okay.
him. You've met him face to face when we were on the computer. He wrote, "Dear Meathead, when can we do a live Dear Meathead show again? A Meathead virtual meetup. That was a blast. Please embellish." Signed, Dean.
Well, when we say live, like the show that we had, right?
Right. When we were all on the computer.
Well, that really is not up to me. It's up to Eric what he does, and of course we are in communication constantly. And if I know that in advance, I'm more than happy to have that same situation at all times.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to do it too often because it's an evening hour, and then occasionally we want to be going out or something.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go work in the garden.
But you and I work this thing out together. That's nicely, so it's okay.
Fair enough. Beautiful, lovely Megan from Irvine's Auto Repair says, "Hi, Meathead. I love reading all types of books, and I am in need of some suggestions of what to read next. Do you have any favorite authors or books to share? Thanks, Megan."
Megan, unfortunately, you asked the wrong person for reading books because I somehow or other did not develop reading books. My wife, on the other hand, can read a book till she's blind.
Oh, well, maybe she has some suggestions. Can she shout one out?
So she says no. She says she has to go look. She gets books by bushels from a friend of hers. And that friend can finish 200 pages in about 1 day and a half.
All right, so
that's how fast it is. Right. She gives her these books, and of course she selects some of the selected ones. She don't read all books. So, unfortunately, I cannot be of any kind of help as far as the titles of a book or type of a book.
Okay.
To help her out, so I'm so sorry about that.
Can't go wrong with a good Jodi Picoult novel, Megan. I recommend a story called The Pact, P-A-C-T. Terrific story. Jodi Picoult, P-I-C-O-U-L-T. Terrific writer. All right. Matt writes this. Dear Meathead, I need some advice. I've been working nonstop since this pandemic started, and I've been making more money than I ever have in my life. And now that I actually have some money saved up, should I keep what I have saved or spend it on a vacation when all of this ends? Keep in mind, I am 23 years old, and I eventually want to buy a house, but I still want to party while I'm young. Thanks for the help, Meathead.
Well, here's the situation. He's a young man. He's got lots of years to party.
Yes.
I think he's got to secure the home by getting a home that he wants to get, do the things with the money that he has in his hand. Do not squander that money for foolish things. And partying and traveling is a nice thing, but it's not the forte or the best thing in life.
All right, so
there are important things in life that you have to attend to. Did he say he wants to buy a home?
Yeah, eventually. He wants to buy a house.
You want to buy a house, save your money. I do not agree with the fact that you can go ahead and squander the money that you got right now because you're getting a lot of money and let it go down the tube.
Yep.
Because that lake that is coming your way is going to drain one day or other and dry up. And then if you have squandered the money out to the wasteland, that is not the coolest thing. Always remember, if you got $10 in your hand, spend $2 in squandering and save the $8. You can't be doing it for the rest of your life, but you can save it for enough time that eventually you're going to use it to a good use, and then you'd be happy that you did that. Hey, I've been there.
All right.
Believe you me.
Oh, yeah.
I had to learn it the hard way. I lived on $1.25 an hour job.
Wow. Well, okay, sure. Hopefully that wasn't like a year ago.
And I was all by myself. I was 18 years old, for God's sake.
Now, Dad, I wanna review what you said. Quote, the lake coming your way is going to dry up.
Right.
And it's going, if you squander it, it's going to be a wasteland.
Absolutely. You just heard of two of them that the dam broke, didn't you?
Yes, I did hear about the dam breaking. It was incredible. That's a metaphor for what it could be. And also, you concluded by saying the money, use it to a good use.
And what's a good use?
There you go.
Got to decide. Partying gives you the headache for the boozing up and all that. Also, the time runs out and the party is over. You've heard of the song, The Party is Over?
Yes, turn out the lights, Monday Night Football.
So make sure your party lasts a long time on a smaller scale.
Okay. Long time, smaller scale, pace your party. I get it.
Yes.
Fantastic. I remember when I was his age, I would spend all my money. I wish I hadn't. I'd be wealthy now. But
you want me to tell them about the things that you did?
Absolutely. Tell them about how I did not see the lake coming my way that was going to dry up.
You had about $3,000 savings at one time, didn't you, before you went to college?
Yeah, I was 15 years old.
Did you?
Yes.
And then how much did you have before you left for college?
Zero.
You spent $2,000 of it for trash.
Well, I had to get I had to buy some Adidas jumpsuits and a dual exhaust for the car.
Yeah, really, you needed that jumpsuit like you needed a hole in your head.
Yeah, it was a couple of
you spent $2,000.
I know, but it was for some beautiful headers that went onto that motor, and then I ran the pipes out.
Where is it at now?
It's in the junkyard. It's in the junkyard. I wanted the car to sound good and be fast. It opened up the airflow.
Do you remember the property that you bought not too long ago?
Yes. I
still got 99% of that money.
Oh, the money that I really?
That's right.
Good for you. Good for you. I'm happy to hear that.
I could have spent it.
Yeah. There's no question that is the way to go, and I am in lockstep with you. I save my money as best that I can. Now, let me just tell you this.
Oh, you're a good saver. No, you're a great saver.
Let me just tell you this. Your granddaughter Jackie is going to die. Yeah. Is going to die a wealthy woman. She somehow. It got through all the things that I tried to parent her. The one thing that got through was money and saving it. And she has so much dough right now. She just stocks it away in she has what's called she has a 401k through her work.
Yeah.
And she has been just dumping money into that thing. And she forgot all about it, and she showed me a statement. I was like, wow, in 2 years' time, you got this much money. It's incredible. I go, at your age, 23 years old, when you're 53, you're going to have millions of dollars if you keep doing this. Don't stop.
Absolutely. 401k is a wonderful product.
Don't touch it. Save up. And
right now, it's in a little shaky area. Because of the economy and so forth.
Yeah, we're going to hit 26,000 today. We're going to hit 26,000 on the Dow today.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you leave it alone. Right now, if you're taking the hit, take it. And leave it alone. Yeah. Do not change the plan or put it in a bank or nothing. No, leave it alone. It'll come back to make you happy.
All right.
I grew up with the financing world. I know exactly what goes on.
Your finance was spending it on divorces.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. Brian in New Jersey writes this. This is I think it might be the last one. Let me double check. I think I've gotten them all. Brian writes this. Dear Meathead, Recently at work, one of my bosses has been on my case about completing some work in a timely manner. I agree the work needs to get done faster. What bothers me is the other side of this company doesn't have the same work done, and I'm receiving all of the heat for it, even if I finish before them. Should I say, lay off my case since others in the company are worse off than I am? So basically what he's saying is, all right, my boss is on my case, but he should be on everybody's case. Why is he only on my case? I'm doing my job. What do you think he should do there, Dad?
First of all, he should ask his boss, why are you on my case and not on the other people's case?
Well, I think
I am doing my share, and I'm a human being. I cannot do any more than I'm possibly doing. You got to straighten out. You got to be straight with the people that are actually bothering you with your employment.
Right, but I think he's fearful that if he speaks out, there might be some retribution that could hurt him. You know, he's thinking about the big picture.
No, listen. You tell the boss, I'd like to have an appointment with you. I need to discuss something, get something off my chest. You tell them, are you pleased with the work I do? Yes. And that, due to the fact that it's putting me under tremendous amount of pressure, it's now teeter-tottering my work. I don't really think I can handle all that. I would appreciate some understanding and cutting down my amount of work. Hand it on to someone else.
Okay, I'm totally with you on the first cue, and say, hey, are you happy with the job I'm doing? Yes, I am.
Okay.
Well, maybe just cut to, well, it doesn't seem like you're happy with me because I keep getting a vibe that you aren't, you know? Maybe just say it that way.
Sounds good. There's a more intelligent. I'm a very cut and dry type of a person. I say it like it comes to my mind.
What was what were you saying about the teeter-totter there? What was that?
I forgot.
You were talking about teeter-tottering. I was like, well, that's the first time I've heard somebody working teeter-tottering into a sentence like that.
Well, you do a half job and not another half job, and put this aside and finish it tomorrow.
All right.
Teeter-tottering.
All right, I got you.
You take on a job, you stay with it till you finish it.
Kim Lazarus says the 26-mile road Home Depot is probably closest to you.
Yes, it is.
All right, that's what she wants to do. So I'll have her reach out to you.
Okay.
All right. My gosh. Kenny says, is once a month an okay time for Meathead's virtual meetup?
Hey, that sounds good.
Once a month?
Yeah, that'd be all right if you can notify me in advance.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. All right, let's plan on once a month.
Yeah. But I really don't want to be committed 100% to that now, remember?
Oh, of course. Yeah, Dad, it's up to you. If you called me and say, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore, no matter what, on the
Well, this time I can't do that, and some other time, but fine.
Hey, it's your
world.
world.
I'm not going to lock into that, honey.
Hey, no pressure. You know me. I'm a no-pressure guy. It's
okay.
It's not a big deal in any way, shape, or form, but, man, do they love you. Oh, my gosh.
Well, you can't pressure me because the pay is not enough for me to get pressure.
I know. You know, the $0. Hey, I cannot wait to see you because your sponsor, JM Synthetics, I told you about this. They've got a whole bunch of products for you that you're going to love. So I don't want to mail them because you can't really mail that sort of thing, I don't think.
Well, hey,
maybe
that's great.
Can.
That's wonderful.
Maybe
He didn't need to do that, or she didn't need to do that, but that's gratefully appreciated, you know.
Actually, that's not true. Of course you can mail it because that's the way a lot of people buy the stuff from him. But I'd have to go and get the details about how I'm supposed to do that. So
all right,
I'll let you know about that. But all right, well that's it. I got nothing more. As always, you have done an amazing job, and we just love you for your time. You and Joanne both.
All right, and listen, you guys be blessed, and God is taking care of you, and you, your audience. Please stay out of the harm's way and wear your mask and all that so you don't look as good as you did without the mask. But protect your health, you guys.
All right, Dad. Thank you. I appreciate your candor, your frankness, your words, and Joanne's contributions as well. We love you so much.
All right. Love you guys, and talk to you next trip.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
There you go, dear Meathead. Once again, it is an exclusive from the sponsor, and that would be JM Synthetics, as I mentioned it to you. So, yeah, man, AMSOIL products is what they sell. Thank you to JM Synthetics. More from them in just a second. Looking ahead, I have to update you on that crazy-ass lady in Central Park yesterday, Amy Cooper, and what happened with her. She's a lady that the guy asked her to put her dog on a leash, and she lost her mind, was shrieking like a kook. I'll play you the audio of what she said and what has happened to her. This has been a swift, severe punishment by internet. Oh, boy. I have a T-shirt for you that I'd like you to wear. It says, Dear Meathead on it. It has my amazing father's face. If you love my dad on the show, get yourself a Dear Meathead T-shirt at ericzaneshow.com. As for the aforementioned JM Synthetics, Zaniac Jason is the guy who brings it to you. Key sponsor of my program, 616-747-0233. You can call him up. He's a Saranac shit kicker. And his website is jmsynthetics.com. AMSOIL invented synthetic motor oil. They distribute it through people like Jason, allow them to build their own business. He is in my opinion, and I think yours too, once you deal with him, the #1 distributor of AMSOIL products. If you want to open up all of their product line, you have to be a preferred customer. That's going to cost you $20 a year. Now, you're going to get extra savings with that $20 a year. It's kind of like signing up for Costco, you know? You pay the membership, but then the stuff that you're going to use anyway is going to be cheap as hell because you're buying it at Costco because you're paid for the membership. That's what preferred customer is all about. However, if you sign up now at JM Synthetics, you give him the $20 and you buy the gear lube, you buy the bar and chain oil, you buy the motor oil, you buy the ATV oil, whatever it is, and then you spend more than $100, which is easy to do. He's going to give you that $20 back right there so that it pays for itself within the first time you buy stuff. JMSynthetics.com. Thank you for being a sponsor on this show. The other half of the Saranac shit kickers is BK Guns and Stuff. All right? Two quality, amazing gunsmiths. You can now establish a montage of me butchering that. 616-902-2447. To get to their Facebook page, you go to my website, ericzaneshow.com, click on the BK Guns and Stuff logo in the sponsor scroll. It'll take you right to their page, all the useful information about what they do, refurbishes, cleaning, rebuilds, customizations. I've got Zaniacs that are dropping weaponry from all across the area off at their place or even mailing it to them. And then they work out what they want done to the thing, okay? Custom builds, as I said. I talked about you can actually have a shotgun made with the thing that you pump, the pumper action to be shaped like Donald Trump's dick. I want to see it when it's done. That's what they do at BK Guns and Stuff. 616-902-2447. And, of course, when a sign doesn't fall and it's over my shoulder, you know it's going to fall one day during the show if I don't get some more adhesive on the back of that sign. For the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Don't be fooled. There are many, many Van Dyke Mortgage locations in and around the area, West Michigan, and the United States. But no matter where you are in the U.S., if you love this show, please include Mario and your potential candidates for delivering a mortgage for you. I'm telling you, you're going to love him. Interview him. Spend some time. Ask him questions. Put him on the hot seat. He wants that. More often than not, he's going to win the business. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You need the mortgage before you start looking for the home. You don't want to be looking for a home that's out of your price range, and then you go, you can't get the mortgage. You're not ready for that mortgage. So lower those expectations of the house you're going to get. He's going to base it on your income. Of course, they all do that, but he's really going to take a hard look at what you want to do here and say, look, I'm just telling you, you're going to be having a hard time with this. Okay, some people, when it comes to mortgages, they want to get you in as big a one as possible and throw you to the wolves. Not Mario. 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. All right, where are we on email? As always, reach out to me, questions, comments, concerns, feedback, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, even if you're a big mouth jackass like emailer Tim. Really good to hear from you, by the way. It's been way too long. How come you don't email as much as you used to? Is it that boring to you? Is that what's going on here? All right. So it was yesterday we got into the story about the dude. Some nerd is out in Central Park watching birds. He's on his, he's doing his thing in an area of the park known as the Ramble. And some chick is walking around with her dog that she just rescued from some place. And, the dog is off the leash. It needs to be on the leash. It is a strict rule there. Dudes had trouble in the past with dogs running up and being a pain in the ass and wrecking part of the landscape because, the dogs are being dogs. So he's kind of a busybody. He says, hey, you mind putting your dog on the leash? She responds horribly. That's when he starts to record the incident. And that's when it takes another turn, where she could have just said, go to hell, I'm out of here. Or she could have just put the GD dog on the leash. She instead created this horrible scenario that I'm going to play for you once again. This is how it went with this chick.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Sorry. Hold on a minute here. This thing got all screwed up.
Please stop. Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
You sound like a goddamn pussy to me.
Close to me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
You need to learn how to suck some goddamn dick.
African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Shut your fucking mouth, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
You motherfucking accuser!
I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here!
So, rather than putting the leash on the dog and say, hey, sorry about that, be on your way. A lot happened there. Why she went racist, I don't get it. I mean, what are you hoping to achieve? How can you not have the idea of how horrible that sounds and how you're being recorded and how this is going to look? I mean, if you being perfectly honest here, if you are a racist, and I think she is, why can't you just keep that bottled up? Now your life is effectively over because the shit has hit the fan on this crazy bitch, Amy Cooper. The only thing that could have made this reasonably navigatable would be if she said, I'm a lunatic and I need to be institutionalized. I'm going to be locked up with for medical reasons for extended time. Sorry, I'm checking out. All the while, she's choking the dog. And she's like holding the dog by its collar and standing straight up. So the dog is hanging. Its front feet are up. The dog's going. You even hear it howl in that clip. She had to surrender the dog back to the rescue place. A lot of times when you get a dog from a rescue, they can come and take that dog at any time if they feel it's being mistreated. So she lost the damn dog. And, well, now she's lost her job. She worked for a prominent company, Franklin Templeton. They fired her ass. My God. And I can totally get it. I mean, this thing was just burning up the internet. The whole world saw it as of yesterday. By yesterday, it was like 30 million people had watched Amy Cooper act like a stupid asshole. After that outburst, she's lost her job. She lost her dog. She has no income now. Who the fuck is going to hire Amy Cooper? And this is, I'm actually very, very glad that this happened. Because I hope that this continues to be the trend where people who act like shitheads continue to have horrible things happen to them so that more and more people know that what you are saying and doing is more than likely going to be put out towards the world. If you start to act like an asshole, the world will be your judge and jury. And I'm kind of happy that this crazy bitch has gotten fired. She deserves to be treated like this. She's a piece of shit. The investment management company Franklin Templeton said it fired Amy Cooper after an internal review after video of the incident was posted online. In the video, Cooper says she's going to call the cops and claim that an African-American man is threatening her life. I like how she tried to make it PC by saying African-American man in the made-up story that she's creating. And where did you think this was going to go? He's threatening my life? Following the internal review of the incident, we made the decision to terminate the employee involved, effective immediately. Yeah, you can't do that. There's behavior clauses. You can't just go out and treat people like shit and expect to not get fired. I almost got fired for something when I got into a road rage incident when I was at GRD. I think I would have been able to fight this one, though. But the story was I was pedaling with Diana, and some guy had a road rage incident. He pulled up next to us. He says, "Why don't you get off the fucking road, you stupid asshole?" And I said, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." So he starts following Diana and I. And then I pulled over. I got off my bike, and I confronted him. So he gets out, and he's like the baseball umpire, and I'm like Earl Weaver, the manager, and we're toe-to-toe. And I said, all right, well, let's go. Quit talking about it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go after it. Let's fight. I'm ready. You ready? And he wouldn't get out of my face, but he wouldn't fight. And I didn't want to fight either, but I thought, what the fuck? You know, I was pissed off. Then he calls the cops on me, and then I spit on his fucking car, and actually in the car. Like he had his window open, and so I went and spit in the car. So, all right. The cop, I start pedaling, and the cop, who I know, because I know every single one of these guys, he pulls up next to me, and he sees me, and he's not sure it's me, but he motions, pull over. And I pull over, and he comes walking up to me, and he goes, take off your glasses. I take off my glasses. He goes, Zane, fuck. What the fuck, man? Why'd you spit in his car? Ah, he's a fucking asshole. So he goes, hang on right there. And then he goes back to the guy. He talks to the guy. And then he starts walking back to me, the cop. And the guy starts his motor and drives away. And then, but before he does that, the cop is talking to me. And he's acting like he's yelling. And he's acting like he's pissed off, but his words are, I'm yelling at you, I'm doing this for show because this guy is watching me in his rearview mirror to make sure that I'm lecturing you and giving you a stern warning. And then the guy takes off and he goes, he's a fucking asshole, don't worry about him. Not the end of the world. This guy's a crazy son of a bitch. He shouldn't have been doing that. I'm glad you spit in his car. Fuck this guy. All right, don't do that anymore, though. All right, see you later. And I pedal away. Well, as it goes, I had a bike shirt on that said WGRD. So guess what this asshole does? He calls and says, you need to know that there is someone out on the street representing you who did this to me. And he chronicled the whole fucking story. And then they put two and two together, and they said, come on in the office here. This is one of about 1 billion times I almost got fired. And I almost got fired had it not been for Novak. Hey, yeah, it's a stalker. He blamed it on a stalker. He called the guy a stalker. Yeah, the guy was a stalker. He'd been stalking Eric for a long time. Novak makes up some fairy tale and fucking smooths it over like he always did. God rest his soul. Yeah, you don't want to fire Eric. I'd hate to have to turn into this a contentious breach of contract when all Eric was doing was defending his wife. Novak was a miracle worker. So he got me out of that shit show. But the point is, they reference the behavior clause. There's this fucking behavior clause in the deal that said if I'm out in public and I act like an asshole, they can fire me. So that's what they wanted to do, and that's what happened to this crazy bitch. The guy who recorded it, his name was Christian Cooper. No relation to Amy Cooper. It just happened to be a nuance of the story. And that's it. She's done. She ended up apologizing before she got fired. And she said, let's see. I detailed her apology yesterday. Actually, it wasn't the worst apology. I thought it was pretty good. She later admitted to overreacting, was sorry. She claimed that Christian Cooper was yelling and that she felt concerned because he didn't know what was in dog treats he was carrying. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Christian Cooper confirmed to NBC that he does carry dog treats to get owners to leash their dogs because they don't want their dogs eating treats from a stranger. That's weird. Christian Cooper said he hadn't seen Amy Cooper's apology, but he said he felt he could accept it as long as she was sincere and willing to put in the work. You know, she's clearly got some issues, and she's going to have to address and do some reflection, he said, and, you know, confront some underlying attitudes of her own. Overall, he said he wishes her no ill will. I wouldn't. I'd wish her the most ill will. I do wish her the most ill will. Let's just get on with our lives, keep our dogs on the leash in protected areas, and nobody has to go through any of this nonsense anymore. He said, well, yeah, if this dumb bitch had just put the dog on the leash in the first place, what a stupid fuck. She loses her career. Everybody in New York hates her guts. Everybody in the world hates her guts. What a dumbass. Well. Red Sovine bit. Great bit. All right. Is hockey coming back? What? The guy who runs hockey is Gary Bettman. First of all, the NHL draft is coming up just around the corner. The Wings better get the top pick. They do like a draft lottery. I don't want this shitty season to go down in vain. The Red Wings are having one of the most terrible seasons in the history of hockey this year. Just awful. We need some young, terrific hockey players to help this team. We need the number one pick. I'm hoping and praying that however many balls they get in the hopper for their shittiness this year, Garen will get them a top pick. I will be so disappointed if they do not get the top pick. So the NHL somehow has managed to put in play a playoff system for this year. Playoffs? Now, I'm guessing if this had been a normal year, we would be probably in the Stanley Cup Finals right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would. The American Hockey League, everything's wiped out. There is no season. The rest of the regular season for the NHL has been abandoned. And the plan is, if they are allowed to resume play, instead of having 16 teams in the playoffs, they're going to have 24 teams in the playoffs. Now, what that does is that gives the possibility that if teams on a normal year had been shitty going into that point of the season that they got up to, went on a run. So he's opening it up so that all but 8 teams make the playoffs. By the way, even with 24 teams making it, that still means that the Red Wings have, it's pretty bad when you still, despite the opening of the field, have no shot in hell. They're the worst team by far this year. So they're going to open it up to 24 teams, and what I'm hearing is they would then have 2 hockey hubs where all the games would be played. And now, God only knows, I guess I might find it in this article, how those opening rounds are going to be. It might be the first round is 1 game. Can you imagine if you go from 24 teams to 12 teams via 1 game, do or die? That would be awesome. I would love that. According to the league, as we seek some return to normalcy, this is an important day for NHL fans. Since March 12th, we've been hopeful and optimistic, and by developing all options and alternatives, we could get to this point. I know I join sports fans everywhere when I say we cannot wait for the players to hit the ice again. He's looking for a full season next year, and this playoff thing, 24-team conference-based postseason format, was approved by the Players Association last Friday by a 29-2 vote. Carolina and Tampa were the only teams that voted against it. Fuck those guys. The games would be held inside empty arenas at 2 hub cities. Originally, the NHL wanted 4 hubs, but logistics and refocusing on the 24-team conference format narrowed that to 2. Bettman said Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Edmonton, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Toronto, and Vancouver are being considered. The hubs would have secure arenas, hotels, and practice facilities, and there could be aggressive COVID-19 testing and protocols at each site. I love it. I think any sport that can pull it off, hockey can. Basketball, I think, can too. Actually, any sport can. It would be better than nothing. At least the television revenue would be there. At least there would be some type of template and an outlet also for people to pay attention to something going on. The golf deal, the exhibition that went on this past weekend, everybody watched that damn thing. It was crazy. All right. Top 4 teams in each conference ranked by points percentage. Boston, Tampa, Washington, and Philly in the East, and St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas in the West would play separate round-robin tournaments to determine seeding in the first round. They will be played with regular season overtime and shootout rules. There's a lot more other nuances to this. I'll link it up. I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole. I probably have already gone too far. But I like it. I like the idea. They would be in the middle of the summer that this would take place, though. So basically what would happen is they do this tournament and then, take a short amount of time off and then get ready for training camp. Whew. We shall see. By the way, unrelated, but talking about organizations coming up with plans and protocols for getting back to life as we know it. My parish, my Holy Redeemer Catholic Church parish here in Jenison, Michigan, man, I got to give them some credit because they came out with a plan when church reopens because, in theory, church is supposed to open pretty damn soon. So they've got a plan, and I really applaud them. I don't want to go into detail of it, but they actually have a plan on how to do this going forward. And it took a lot of work, and I think a lot of churches are doing stuff like this because that's how life is going to be in the time being as we slowly come back to life. But you're seeing that more and more. My kids' schools, my God, Tom Tenbrink and the board have just been killing it. 10-hour days every day, thinking, banging their heads against the wall. How are we going to do this? How are we going to get the kids back to school? How are we going to keep the staff safe? How are we going to keep the kids safe? And, man, they're doing everything in their power to get this right. The one thing they have, well, I guess some would say they don't have, is the time leading up to the school year. And, man, if your kid's school system is not updating you regularly as to how far they've gotten in their plan, well, something's wrong because they got to get this taken care of. All right. Got one more batch of stories to get to. I'm going to get to those coming up in just a bit. One of them involves A CNN reporter visiting with beachgoers in some of the most beautiful beaches in the land and the Gulf Coast of Alabama, where they turned the spigot on full blast. They turned the governor in Alabama turned it on. Forget her name, Governor Ivy, I think. Turned it on full blast. She said, Alabamians, sweet home Alabama. Get out there and party. These people are all over the beaches. It's orgies, sex, casinos are open. Everybody's losing their minds. Everybody's packed in like frickin' sardines. Some CNN reporter went out and talked to some of the stupidest people on the planet. Wait till you hear them. Wednesday, 2 key things happened. Dear Meathead, we already did that. Brought to you by JM Synthetics. 7 p.m. tonight. Second week in a row that I've done this. Or second, yeah, it is. I did it last week. The Instagram instant, damn it, can't talk. Instagram instant interview. Again, wrong. 0 for 2. Instagram instant trivia challenge. What the hell is wrong with me? The Instagram instant trivia challenge. I got it right 2 times in a row now. What you need to do is follow me on Instagram, Eric Zane Show. 7 p.m. Wednesday nights, I go Instagram Live. 10, 15 people are watching the Instagram Live. I click your name. Voila. You accept. It's you and me on the phone. Everybody's watching us. All the pressure in the world. I ask you a trivia question. You got 5 seconds to get it right. You get it right, you get $10. Brought to you by Baldwin Ace Hardware. And brought to you by Little Debbie, distributed by MB Distributing Incorporated. Thank you to them. I have 2 $10 prizes each week. If they're not claimed, they roll over to next week. It's that simple. Fun to watch, easy to play. You get it wrong, goodbye. You can continue to watch, but that's it for that round. And then I go to the next person, with another trivia question. You get it right, you win. I Venmo you the cash, boom, we're in business. You're not on Venmo? You should be. You're not on Venmo? I'll PayPal it to you, or I'll write you a check. So much fun. Thank you to Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thank you to Little Debbie, distributed by MB Distributing Incorporated. MB is Mike Ball, Patreon member, awesome friend of the family. Love your family, love you. All right. Today's show. Randall sent this along. God, he said the highlight in this is the chick who has about the same amount of fabric covering her roly-poly body on the beach as she does the mask that a person would wear. None of the dopes in this story are wearing masks. They're all sitting around enjoying the summer day in Alabama. Now, again, this I think has a lot to do with people's attitudes have changed. I am in the minority, I feel. I think my dad is in the minority about COVID-19. Everybody wants to just go out and do whatever they want. I am more for a cautious approach to reopening the world. These people, not so much. Here you go. Let's listen to the Alabama idiots.
Coronavirus cases in Alabama are going the wrong way. They are trending up. But the state is now wide open for business. Social distancing is the state's rule, but that effort has often been an exercise in futility at restaurants and bars in the beach towns of Alabama this Memorial Day weekend, as people come back to party. At this restaurant and bar in Gulf Shores, Alabama, many wonder why it took this long to open.
I'm just here just to have fun and meet everybody and just be cool, you know.
Across the street, the beach is...
Wait a minute. Hold on a second here.
Were you meaning to
From home, Rick Alden, News.
I am falling apart. Let me start this over.
Coronavirus case at this restaurant and bar in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Many wonder why it took this long to open.
I'm just here just to have fun and meet everybody and just be cool, you know.
That guy makes Kenny sound northern. What a hayseed-sounding voice on that guy. Hang out and party and be cool.
Across the street, the beach is jammed. Groups are supposed to be 6 feet away from each other.
Fat
Police
broads.
work to enforce that. groups are also ordered to only consist of people who live in the same household. There is no active effort to enforce that. Bailey Carr is 21. She just graduated from college.
I mean, everybody's got to go somehow. You know what I mean?
You mean die?
Yeah, but in a way, like, I mean, I don't want to die, but I mean, if that's what God has in store for my life, then that's okay.
I ought to kick your goddamn ass, you fat funky bitch. You need to get up off your fat ass and lose some of that goddamn weight.
I like how the guy goes, you mean die?
Family has...
I mean, everybody's got to go somehow. You know what I mean?
You mean die?
Yeah, but in a way, like, I mean, I don't want to die, but I mean...
Yeah, like, I don't want to die. Ha ha, yeah, I do. Yeah.
If that's what God has in store for my life, then that's okay.
My family...
No, man, I want to head God off at the pass. You got to head God off at the pass. I mean, God's not going to go, you are going to die, and you must be okay with that. No, I want to intercept that, God. I don't want to die.
Has the same mindset as me, and we kind of just agreed that if we get it, we get it. We're going to handle it as a family and just get over it, because that's what family does.
When it comes to coronavirus, medical experts will tell you they're very concerned about the immediate future here in Alabama. On this beach, though, your eyes and ears will tell you something much different.
Just like the flu, right?
Well, it's not just like the flu. It's far more contagious.
I love this one. This dumb bitch is doing the whole flu thing, which, God, I'm so sick of that one. Yeah, it's about on par with the flu. It isn't. It isn't at all. A bad flu year might be 60,000 dead in a year. We're at 100,000 in 3 months, so please fuck off.
It's like the flu, right?
Well, it's not just like the flu. It's far more contagious.
Well, I know, but people
far more
die
deadly.
from the flu also.
They do die from the flu.
Her follow-up is, yeah, but they die also.
To me, that's just the way I look at it.
Do you have any concerns?
You need to learn how to suck some goddamn dick.
About being at the beach with so many people with your children?
Not at all.
How come you're not worried at all that someone could be sick and walk by you and get you sick?
Because there's enough wind and air that it's going to clear it all out of here.
The wind and the air don't clear it away.
Well,
there's no proof of anything like that. There's wind and air everywhere in this world.
Right.
I love this guy. There's wind and air everywhere in this world.
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch!
I love he's giving her absolute logic, and she's like, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it at all.
And then there is the issue of masks. We saw a grand total of 0 being worn on the beach. Do you ever wear a mask?
No, my wife and kids do. I don't.
How come you don't?
I just feel comfortable that I'm going to be okay.
But the mask isn't to keep you okay, it's to keep your wife and kids okay. To protect them.
I get it.
Somebody's got a good brain.
The survival rate is so high, I think...
You're not worried about them getting sick because they're going to live.
We're all going to get sick for something eventually.
Trump is part of this conversation.
I mean, if he's not wearing a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. If he's not worried, I'm not worried.
The president.
Yes, sir.
Speaking
Just
of
a rude person you are.
Alabama has mandated them for restaurant and bar workers. Some restaurants have them. But at others, where we arrived unannounced and shot cell phone video, employees were not wearing masks.
Nice boobs.
The manager here telling us after our visit, he has now given masks to his employees with instructions to wear them. At this other restaurant bar, where we also saw no employees wearing masks, the manager told us they will continue not wearing them because she wants it that way, despite it violating the state order. Traffic very heavy in Alabama's beach towns. All nearby hotels sold out as the holiday weekend began. Alabama is back in business, COVID surge or not.
When it's my time to go, it's just my time to go.
That's your attitude. There you go. That's it. Maybe that's your attitude. I can't, I wish you wouldn't feel that way, but unfortunately that appears to be the way it's turning. Don't be shy about expressing yourself to me. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Like email or Tim, who got punched right in the nose after he tried that shit with me. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'm done. We got Patreon. We're going to do another podcast for you. Keep the show going at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Thanks again, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
This virus ain't that serious.
Get drunk before everything closes.
Andrea, put your chest away.